The obesity rate in a different country is not as high as America. Stay here and sleep with all the mammoths. Got it?
There's no need to crap on women in other countries just to make yourself feel better about the reason why these men are choosing them over you. Women often use shame to try and manipulate the sexual market, because in order for them to be successful at finding a partner, sometimes you might need to, cheat a little bit. And so that's when shame comes into play. And they do this because if the older men are going after the younger women, then they're not going after them. And that's a problem.
Yeah, they're gonna have to buy a vibrator and a dog and get on with their lives.
So for those of you who've never heard of Passport Bros, a quick summary is they are Western men who are moving to other non-Western countries in order to find a partner. And the reason for that is because they prefer non-Western women. And this has caused a bit of a drama, I guess, on social media. There are some women who are not very happy about it. And so I thought we'd kind of just take a look at the interaction between the women who are against it and the men's responses to them. So that's what we're going to be reacting to today.
We don't talk enough about how Passport Bros are just predators.
I'm not a predator if I sleep with women in America. But if I sleep with women outside of America, I'm a predator. Got you. Guess that means you stop sleeping with people in different states too, right? You live in Florida. Don't sleep with somebody in Chicago. You're a predator. Logic. The obesity rate in a different country is not as high as America. Stay here and sleep with all the mammoths. Got it? Women in other countries are nice and they look good. Stay here. Deal with somebody who's nice but don't look good. Or deal with somebody who looks good and wants to rob you passively. Nice. I don't think she used logic. I don't think logic matters to her. She's not happy at all. She keeps on forgetting to use her Planet Fitness membership.
Oh, just look at her. Does she look like she's getting the options that she wants, that she desires? She's having success. She's in successful relationships. She can get married today if she wanted to. Does she look like the type? No. Does she look like the type who's getting good suitors? Does she look like the type who's married right now? Because if she was married, I doubt she'd even care. Why would she be making this video? But no, she has to talk. She has to run her mouth. Can somebody explain to me the logic behind what is defined as a predator and what is not a predator? Because what if I want to go to Thailand or Colombia or Puerto Rico for a wife? Why is that bad? Who am I preying on? How is it any different than women outside I'm preying on? Men are hunters. We go up to women. We go up to women. We start a conversation. We meet up again and see if we want to see each other more after that. It's the same system when you go to a different country. But I'm a predator. Okay.
He does have a point though. Why is it predatory just because these women don't live in the States or don't live in the West?
Talk your shit, patience.
Because the phenomenon of people finding partners in different countries is not new at all. And I think since the rise of the internet and online dating, this has been happening all the time. There's an entire show called 90 Day Fiancé around this, about Americans, both men and women, finding partners from overseas or abroad and basically bringing them back to the US to marry them. It's been happening for a very, very long time. There's nothing remotely remarkable or new about this. And I find it really interesting because would they regard it as predatory if these non-Western women had moved to the West and then got into a relationship with a Western man? Would that be predatory then, or would that be perfectly fine?
Who's even the predator then?
There's nothing wrong with a non-Western woman moving to a Western country and getting into a relationship, then why would it be predatory in the opposite direction? Yeah. So is it the direction of the flight that determines whether or not it's predatory?
When you pay attention to the Passport Bros, like they're getting women from like the DR, Colombia, the Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education, women that need them, women that need them.
Women are raised to be wives. Mm-hmm. They learn everything from birth, from their father, from their mother, how to be a wife and how to support your man.
Women that need them.
It's not even women that need them. It's women that treat them with respect.
So we don't.
Y'all know y'all don't.
Stop yourself.
That's not true. I mean, there's no need for that, right? There's no need to crap on women in other countries just to make yourself feel better.
Right? Like, okay, they speak very little English. I'm not going to get with somebody who speaks next to no English. That's the first thing. Second thing, hey, I don't know, man. If the vibes are right, I don't know, if our body language is just that on point, I just might. And you know what's insulting is when Western women call other women, non-Western women, dumb, like they don't go to school. And are there no schools out there in any other country but America? Is that what you're telling me? I'm supposed to believe that? Or you think we're just picking up some woman off the streets? You think they know how to be wives? Some woman off the streets, some prostitute off the streets? You think we're intentionally looking for them to have, I don't know, to have some semblance of a healthy relationship? Why do you think we're going for them? I'm pretty sure there are educated women. I'm pretty sure there are women who know how to speak English. There are a lot of dudes who put in the effort to learning the languages of these other countries. There's a lot that goes into it, man. We're not just just pick one up off the street. That's predatory.
There's no need to crap on women in other countries just to make yourself feel better about the reason why these men are choosing them over you. To assume that they speak very little English, to assume that they are uneducated, to assume that they're all of these things when you've never been to these countries, you don't know how they live. Like,
that's
it's so
racist.
ridiculous. Like, most places except for English speaking countries can speak multiple languages, English being one of them. This assumption that they wouldn't be able to speak English, I don't know why you'd assume that, considering English is taught in a lot of countries as a language that they have to learn. So I don't know. It's just ignorance. It's just giving ignorance. It's giving ignorance.
This is a huge red flag. The only men who like to go overseas to find a partner is men who like to prey on vulnerable women. Because when you go find a wife in the Philippines or Thailand or Eastern Europe or wherever these places are that are
you've been there.
Overseas.
Because you've lived there.
I'm assuming you mean they're more biddable, that they're less outspoken, they don't demand anything of you, that they're just happy to be rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity, and in return, all they have to do is subject themselves to your advances. So I do wonder at your motivation for why you want to go overseas to find a partner. Is it because you prefer your woman biddable, without opinions, unable to fight back, and vulnerable? Because if that's the case, you know what that
unable to
makes
fight
you, right?
back.
I know what this video makes you.
What's with the exaggerations? Why do women have to paint the worst case scenario? Why would anyone go overseas to just, I don't know. How do you, it's hard for me to form a thought because you're so stupid. Like, why are you giving these other women so much shit? Like, you hear the word China or Thailand or the Philippines, and you just think poverty, broke, dirty, nasty, lackluster. They're in necessity. They're in need of men. Why do you think that? Why is that your first opinion on all these countries? I can't even speak for all these countries, but I have what's called common sense, sweetheart. But there's some civilized, educated women out there. You should just, I don't know, read a book.
Maybe I find it extra triggering because I was born in Africa, and it's just so insulting because they have this superiority complex. They just assume that everyone in these countries lives like the charity adverts that they see on television. Yeah. And it's just like, pull your head out of your ass, please. Yeah. Okay? Western women are not the only ones who are educated, who are able to have their own opinions and speak their minds. But the one thing that these non-Western women do have that the Western women, according to these men, don't have, is the ability to still have their own opinions, still be educated, while still maintaining the ability to be respectful, while still maintaining the ability to be cooperative with their partner. It seems as though, based on what these men are saying, they're saying that they find that these women are better wives. They're raised better to be a lot less, well, basically like that woman in that video. I mean, personally, if I was a man looking for a woman and that is all my country had to offer me, I would buy a one-way ticket as well.
You mean to tell me that I could find women with 10 fingers, 10 toes, 1 nose, they're in shape, they're educated, they are respectful and cooperative to men? I just gotta get on a plane and get up out of this country? You telling me that is possible? Yeah, I'm down. I'm game. It's respect and cooperative women. Respectful and cooperative women. That's hard to find. Jesus Christ, it's hard to find. You can't talk to. You can't say nothing because they get mad.
I would buy a one-way ticket as well. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but the way she spoke about these women and their countries was so disrespectful and so out of line. And I just, can you blame the men for not wanting to come home to that every day after work? I don't. I personally don't.
Problem with passport roles.
So I was thinking about this. Why do they care? Why do they care that men are going their own way and finding women in foreign countries? Why are they so upset? Why do they call them dusty and useless, and then get mad that they're leaving? They don't want them, but they don't want them to leave. And why are they making these videos? To tell us how they don't care.
Want them to go.
And it finally struck me. The video is not for the passport boys. The videos are for their orbiters.
They're pleading for them to stay because they are lonely and they're sad. They need as many options as they could get.
The friend zone men. They want to make sure they don't get this idea in their head that they can go somewhere else, that there are other women available to them if they just leave the country. They need these men to stay in their orbit, to keep validating them. Yep. That is what they're terrified, is they will lose the influence they have amongst the few men who still put up with them.
I think that the reason why the women are doing this is because as much as they want to pretend they don't care, and as much as they want to pretend that they think that these men are beneath them, and therefore that's why they're going to women who they deem as beneath them. And I can only assume that these women think that non-Western women are inferior, considering so far they've called them poverty-stricken, uneducated, and desperate for opportunities. So I actually think that their behavior is pretty standard behavior when it comes to women and how they try to manipulate the dating market. Women often use shame to try and manipulate the sexual market, because in order for them to be successful at finding a partner, sometimes you might need to, cheat a little bit. And so that's when shame comes into play. You'll see this all the time happening with other situations. So for example, there are women who get very upset with older men who are not attracted to older women. They'll shame them and call them predators. It's always predators. That's always the go-to. They'll call them predators, etc. Now, while personally, I also think that people are better off dating within their own age range, I don't think it's predatory for a young adult woman to consent to a relationship with an older man. To imply that it's predatory is a bit of an overreach. But of course, the women who typically do this shaming are typically older women themselves. They shame the older men for dating
because they need all the options they can get.
And they do this because if the older men are going after the younger women, then they're not going after them, and that's a problem.
Yeah, they're gonna have to resort. They're gonna have to buy a vibrator and a dog and get on with their lives.
And I can promise you, we Asian women are happy to have your men and offer them everything they've been looking for. And you attack us Asian women too. You call us poor, uneducated, submissive, desperate women who are happy with your table scraps and rejects. But if you truly believe we were getting your leftovers, the men you don't want anyway, then why do you sound so angry and defensive about it and try to shame men for finding happiness here?
Another thing, real quick. That's her real hair. Some Black Western women are just jealous.
And what you call submissive is what we call being agreeable. Do I look uneducated, submissive, and desperate to you? Well, guess what? There are millions more like me over here, just waiting to have a shot at making your man happy.
Oh, please.
I mean, she got a point.
But you tell him. Tell him.
Man, we don't want to have to fly somewhere else and speak another language and struggle to communicate with other people and learn a new culture. Learn how money works, not get scammed, blah, blah, blah. Find a job or find a decent job that pays overseas, whatever. We don't want to do that. We want to be in America. But you guys are driving us to go do something else. And we are lazy. You guys already win, but y'all are just so... You guys are just mean. Like, I don't think women understand how mean they could be. And how is it that you're the best choice? You're in the lead. Right? You're in first place. Why would an American man not want an American woman? Why is that? Why would that be the case? How is it that these women, these non-Western women, how are they winning? How come guys are resorting to them? Think about that. Like, really think about that. They must be doing something right. They must have what we want.